been a week off for the 1UP Superstar Series, but we are back in action with race number 5 of the 2026 season, and it is at the prestigious Hillside Raceway out in Natick, Massachusetts. This beautiful high bank, 36 degrees of banking all around this racetrack for a mile in length. This track is known to devour tires every time these cars take to the track, so managing those will be key to success over the next 100 laps around this beautiful racetrack that's seen some great racing over the years. Today, I expect to be no different. And alongside me in the booth to bring you all of today's action is Jesse Turner with us in the booth. Great to have you with us. This is a tire cruncher, that's for sure, and you're going to have to manage a lot of that on your way to victory lane today.
Oh, yeah, you sure are. I mean, of course, with this place being over 35, 36 degrees of banking, of course, that's going to take a lot of wear on the tires. And obviously, with the amount of speeds that you carry into those corners, I mean, a lot of G-forces will be put on the drivers. So it'll not only will it be tough on the cars, it's going to be tough on the drivers. It's going to be a very, very physical race.
Absolutely, it'll be physical, it'll be long. It's 100 laps around this place, and while the start of the run, you'll expect to see the hot laps come in at about 20 and a half seconds. Once we get to the end of the run, it's going to fall off into the 24-second range, 25 seconds. This is the worst track for tires in the entire season, but we love it for that reason. It's all about management. We expect one pit stop today. When that will come will determine a lot about who wins this race, I'm sure. As we can now bring you the starting lineup for today's 100 laps of action, and it's Julio Cesar on pole position today in the 00 for Sanders Performance Autosport. Christian Vargas lines up alongside him. Vargas went to victory lane last time out at Atlanta. Very curious to see how he shapes out for trying to go for back-to-back victories. Ben McDonnell had a bit of a slow start to the season for him. He starts third alongside Paul Villalobos, the highest-placed rookie in the starting lineup for Robbers Racing, making only his second career start. He lines up fourth, with Patrick Smith rounding out the top 5. But it's realistically anybody, I'd argue, in the top 15 to 20 has a real good shot at a good day today if they just manage their stuff right and manage to make their pit stop as efficient as possible. We expect that to come around halfway in this race, and that, like I said, that is going to determine a lot about who wins out here today.
That's right, totally. And there's also a chance that somebody outside the top 15 or 20, I mean, there's pit strategy is always key. So, when you pit is also going to be an interesting factor that's going to be played out here. But, yeah, I mean, Cesar and Vargas, I mean, we know Spa and Revolution Racing, they always bring fast machines, along with McDonnell and Villalobos with a surprising qualifying effort. But I wouldn't count out those Fingai Saitomi Fords as well. You got Patrick Smith starting in the top 5. You also got Miles Mashburn. He's been strong all year, too. So, yeah, this will be a fun 100 laps to see. Hopefully these fans are ready for it. And
Miles Mashburn was oh so close to winning this race last year before Devin Fair stole it off him on the final corner. I'm sure he's looking for redemption here today as the series returns to Hillside. But with that being said, we've got 42 cars ready to take the green flag. We're ready to bring you that action now. It's the 1UP Superstar Series, race number 5 of the season from Hillside Speedway, and the green flag getting set to get this great race underway. Stay tuned. Field rolling out of turn 4, it is Cesar and Vargas on row 1. Pace car pulls off, field into the restart zone. We're underway and rolling at Hillside, and it looks like Vargas actually gets the better launch off the line from the outside. Let's see if Julio Cesar can fight his way back on that bottom lane as the field blasts its way out of turn 2. These banks are very high, even on the straightaways, as the field still remains fairly even Stevens as we make our way to the end of lap 1.
And to the end of lap 1, looks like Vargas in the Revolution Racing Toyota will get that job done. But here you see just how towering this track is. I'm sure up on the top side, you got to be at least 4 or 5 stories up, if you were to compare it to the size of a building. But yeah, it's whether you're on the low side or the high side, lots of risk right there. You see Henry Thomas looks like he's going to be the big loser in that 3 wide. Looks like Mashburn and also Lane Sanders will drive by him. There's also Patrick Smith in the 22 and also Devin Fair, the 21. They're also contending up here. But man, just it's so, incredible just watching all these guys run this racetrack.
And Mashburn's already fought his way up to the top 5 after starting down in 9th place. But look at his teammate go. Paul Villalobos, he's fighting his way towards Julio Cesar. 2 South American drivers battling it out for 2nd position in this race. This 66 has really impressed me from the start of the season. Eric DeMax, of course, brought it to a top 10 at Daytona. Villalobos and Angel Gutierrez have been trading blows in this 66 back and forth ever since, and they've both given it some solid days. It has to be said, but Villalobos, I think this is the best run we've seen this 66 have all season long so far, and he's doing a very good job holding off the likes of Ben McDonald and his own team owner, Miles Mashburn, behind him.
That's got Jensen Nomina I also see up there in the 62, and also the 51 of Cale Tescar Jr., who's also looking to make a rise up right here. Go back a little bit. There's Nomina in the 62 facing the heat from Lane Sanders. But yeah, good for Nomina to be putting up this kind of a fight here. That 62 operation. And there's Cale Tescar, who's got to win this season, looking to make it 2. And right outside the top 10, you got these contenders back here like Grigsby, Sam Denoto, and Jake McMillan, I do believe, as well.
Yes, the Daytona 500 winner McMillan, and Grigsby right ahead of him. If he finishes as well as he's running right now, he's on pace to lock himself into the field for Bristol next time out. So very strong performances from that 9 car, even if he missed the 500 to start the season with. And just ahead of them, we saw Jeffrey Finguy in the auto owners colors this week. First time we've seen that scheme on that 92 this year. But up at the front, Vargas is just extending that lead more and more. It's almost up to a 2nd now as the rest of the field runs in a train behind.
Seeing Vargas with a lead this massive, it reminds me of Ryan Griffin out at Las Vegas. Just, him dominating so much of that race and just kind of teasing him in a way, teasing the field, just saying, catch me if you can. How Griffin was able to have a great run at Las Vegas and eventually the win. So Vargas is on pace doing the same thing right here, replicating that. Now we're taking a look at the 21 of Fair, trying to keep Jensen Nomina behind him, see how long he can do that.
And Fair is the only driver this season to have a top 10 in all 4 races this season, and as they run right now, he's on pace to extend that streak up to 5. He's running in a solid 7th place, which he's holding down a good top 5 position in the points as they run right now as well, which is a mighty fine effort for this JHM racing team, which last year, with Kev Shearer driving that car, they finished down in 30th in the owner's standings. So a much needed turnaround for JHM Racing now that they've got McMillan and Fair driving their cars, and Keon Daly, who I expect to learn a lot from these two.
Now we got Paul Villalobos again, career start number 2, like you mentioned, qualified 4th. He's already up into 3rd again. Just that 66 operation, they've definitely caught on quickly. Despite the rotation of drivers that hop in and out of that car every week, but DeMax, Gutierrez, and now Villalobos, these rookies, they're really catching on. And even though they may not be full time as far as drivers, I mean that team though they're certainly proving to be strong, and they can hang with all these other rookie contenders in the field.
And as they run right now, this car would probably jump up to the top 5 in owners points this year as well, which is very impressive considering this team forfeited their owners points to the Eclipse Group for the start of the season, their 04 car. So the 66 had to qualify on time for all 5 races this season, and they've done so every time, with Villalobos putting it in a very strong position to start this race. The Venezuelan rookie turning heads very early on in his career. Remember, he's still a rookie in the Nitro National Series, so he's on the fast track to success. But we'll see if he can hang on for 100 laps at this place, because it's a hard place, like we said at the top of the show, for these drivers.
Definitely not too difficult for the 54 of Vargas, though. He has a 1.2 second lead now over Julio Cesar, and now all these drivers, as we go throughout the field, that they're minding more their P's and Q's now. They're giving each other lots of space. They know it's only 17 laps into the race. There's no real need to risk anything. Just keep on riding calmly around the track and see what your car does, get a feel for it, just like Villalobos and Cesar right here, as we see, along with the 12 of McDonald. You see as far back as 40th place, Daniel Bouchard, all the way 12 seconds back, and there's also James Ellison. He's running shotgun on the field, 13 seconds back.
And there he is in that 3 car. But talking about the field as a whole, we're only 18 laps into this race, and we're already seeing lap times 3/4 of a second slower than they were at the start of the race, and that's only the beginning of the tire fall off here at Hillside. This place is very rough. It chews up tires every single lap. These guys will be wanting to pit every other lap, it seems. But the ideal strategy, at least for this race, is to try and make it to halfway, which is lap 50, and pit shortly after, so you can get the benefit of fresh tires on your car as long as you can.
That'll definitely be something to keep in mind for these teams, these crew chiefs. Gonna fit the way through this thing. Here's Miles Mashburn, already riding his way up into the top 5 from the 9th starting position. He's gained 4 positions since the start. He's trying to run down the 12 of Ben McDonald right here. The shootout winner on the beach course, who Mashburn contended pretty heavily with in that race. But yeah, good for them to get that out of their way right now. But you also see Patrick Smith in 6th. I did mention the Fingai Saitomi team. Definitely have to watch out for them to maybe advance their way up. But so far, Patrick Smith is running the highest out of that bunch.
And going back to Miles Mashburn for a moment, he absolutely dominated this race last year, led 99 of 100 laps, but he didn't win that day because the one lap he failed to lead was the final one, and that was because Devin Fair jumped him on the final corner of the race to pick him to the line. So Mashburn desperately seeking redemption at a place that he feels like owes him one after the near miss he had a season ago.
Right now, Mashburn on track to doing just that, but McDonald's also on course to do the same. But you see Caesar, he's almost 2 full seconds back now of that 54 in the lead, and you see Villalobos, he's just following the 00, learning off of him, seeing where he's strong, seeing where he's weak, and yep, right there, another 3/10 that Vargas has gained on Julio Caesar, and I can only imagine just how much more he's got to that 3 of Ellison in last place. But yeah, that 54 is just rolling at this track.
And it won't be long at the rate he's going before he catches the back of the field, including James Ellison, Francois Chastain, and a few others back there. So I would expect that gap to get a lot bigger, but once he catches the back end of the field, that gap is going to shrink, and it's going to shrink fast because it's not easy to get by the lap traffic here. Everybody wants to run the same line on the racetrack, so trying to find your way around the back end of the field is a little tougher than other places like, say, Atlanta last time out. But up at the front, Vargas holds the lead, and it's now up over 2.5 seconds between himself and the 00.
It helps that 54 car has all the clean air ahead of him. He's got a clean racetrack, and that's pretty much all you can hope for as the leader. Just having no obstacles in front of you, it can just allow you to just make qualifying laps out there pretty much. And Vargas and Caesar, they restarted, or they took the start 1 and 2 with Caesar on the pole, but now it's the role reversal right there, and also the second row of Villalobos and McDonald, they flop position, so Villalobos is 3rd and McDonald's up in 4th. Mashburn's been the biggest gainer, at least among the drivers in the top 10, coming up from 9th to 5th.
I would also throw Cale Tescar Jr. into that mix. He started 17th, and he's fought his way up into the 10th position, so that's +7 for the 51 car early in this race. Looking at James Ellison running shotgun on the field, he's only about a straightaway ahead of Christian Vargas, who's putting on an absolutely blistering pace out front. His lead now almost 3.5 seconds between himself and Caesar. I wonder if the 66 of Villalobos, I wonder if he thinks he's a little bit quicker at the moment than Julio Caesar, trying to find a way around, because he might be thinking this 00 is starting to hold everybody up.
Again, with the rookie making just career start number 2, I mean, a lot can be going through his mind. I mean, normally if you ask, rookies who have only made 1 or 2 starts how nervous they are before the races, typically they would tell you yes, because there's just so many unknown elements that he's just not ready for. But so far, Paul Villalobos has definitely handled all of that with perfection. He definitely has a lot of strength with that 66 team around him, as now Vargas has over
we've got one stopped on the apron.
Oh, no.
It's Brian Grigsby in the 9. We were talking about him earlier in the race. He's got a mechanical issue on this 9 car that sidelined him to pit road on lap 31. Oh, that is heartbreaking for Brian Grigsby, like we said, he was on his way to locking himself into the field for Bristol, but if he can't get back out on track at this point, he's going to fall out of this race, and that'll definitely force him to qualify on time once again once we head to Thunder Valley in a couple weeks.
Oh man, that's too bad for Grigsby and the Fitzwater Racing team. And yeah, just that team just they've had little go right for them this season. I mean, Grigsby's had a couple, strong runs in the top 15, but yeah, he definitely didn't need this to happen. And he's now going to be classified as last unless his team, finds a way to get him back out on the track, but he's just losing more and more time.
He's already 3 laps down at this point, and even if they do get him back out there, he's going to need a lot of attrition to pick up through the field a little bit. And I don't even think they're going to get him back out there. That engine issue on the 9 looks really bad. So we'll see what happens, but for now, Grigsby on pit road with the FAR team diagnosing what's going on with that thing. But we'll chalk him down for the moment here as our first retiree from this race, and we're only about a third of the way into it.
You saw that 66 of Villalobos nearly have a run to the inside of the double zero, but then again, I mean, the tires are just being eaten up on these race cars, and he didn't quite have the chance to maintain the tire grip through the corners to get around him. But you see Vargas, he's got a 6-second lead now. Incredible pace by that number 54 Toyota, and Villalobos is by for second. Caesar up on the high side.
Yeah, I think Villalobos opened the floodgates because they're starting to freight train Julio Caesar on the outside. He's already lost spots to McDonald, to Mashburn, to Patrick Smith, and he might even lose out to Devin Fair if he gets close enough. But I think for now, Caesar's going to try and find a spot in line in 6th position, but I think those tires might be going off the edge for Julio Caesar. He was fighting so hard to keep ahead of that 66, and now he might be... Yeah, look at the gap that's already forming between him and the 22. I think his tires are hitting the first edge.
Yeah, sad to see for the double zero. He's just itching for a caution to come out, or at least something to summon him to pit road. I mean, a lot of these guys are as well. But, of course, none of that is concerning to the 54 of Vargas, and now, yeah, Grigsby is officially done for the day with a valve problem. Unfortunate for him, but you see the 66 opening up a gap between him and third place Ben McDonald, and that is quite impressive. That 66 car still, doing great things.
And look at this, Vargas has caught the tail end of the field now. With Chastain, Ellison, Nick Ortiz is there. They're all trying desperately to avoid falling off the lead lap, just in case we do get a caution. But Vargas is setting sail. He's got past Ellison. He's got past Ortiz. I think the 91 might be having a little bit of a problem too, because he has immediately lost touch with the 54, and he's backing up Ellison with him as well.
Yeah, Ellison's got to be urgent to get by that 91. So far, can't quite find an opportunity to do that. Now, Francois Chastain will be Christian Vargas' next victim. Now, Ellison's got a chance to get by that 91 ride. I also see Daniel Bouchard. He may be a victim of the 54 car soon as well.
William Brock's there. Duke Ansak's in that mix.
Yeah.
But so far, those 4 are staying ahead of Christian Vargas. The gap's coming down a little bit, by the way, between him and Villalobos. It was over 6.5 seconds. Now it's down to 5.5 pretty much. But man, Julio Caesar is not having a good time right now. He has fallen outside the top 10 completely. I think he's riding around in about 16th spot, but he keeps bleeding positions very quickly. He's got to be one of the first ones to pit road at the rate he's going.
You see Fitzwater go by him. Zachary DeLello is almost going to go by him. You see Logan Williams as well as Cody Goforth and Sam Denoto. They're trying to make their way past the double zero, but yeah, just absolutely no grip at all for Julio Caesar and all these guys on older tires who didn't manage him as well as Vargas has. I also see up in the top 10, the 92 of Jeffrey Thin Guy, another one of the Thin Guy Saitomi cars. He's joined his teammate Patrick Smith up into the top 10. And there's, again, Julio Caesar just not having much grip at all, as Emma Kruger has now passed him.
Yeah, he's fallen all the way down now to 22nd on the racetrack. He's lost 20 spots since Villalobos punted him up high. and he's got no grip out there, and we're only about 6 laps from halfway. That's the good news. He doesn't have to hang on for that much longer. The bad news is he's pretty much half a lap down now, at least, to Christian Vargas, and I don't know what can stop him at this point. This 54 has been flying ever since the green flag fell.
Well, he has. Bill Lopez has been able to chew into the lead just a little bit, but part of that is, because of this lap traffic that Vargas is encountering. He's got that lead car right there ahead of him. Yep, that's Francois Chastain. He actually backed off of him a little bit. Maybe Vargas's tires may be starting to dwindle in life a little bit. Yeah, you see Villalobos, and he's now got it done under 4 seconds.
Yeah, but now Villalobos has to deal with some lap traffic, that being Nick Ortiz in the 91. So it's hard to get by these guys, even at the best of times. So you'll need a significant tire advantage if you're gonna make that pass stick pretty solidly. So I think Villalobos might just need to wait for the 91 to make a mistake, or just try and short pit the 91, either way. But we're closing in on halfway pretty quickly, and that's good news for Christian Vargas, because he's only a couple laps away from locking up those 2 bonus points for leading the most laps in this race.
That 54 has just been untouchable, since the drop of the green flag. You see James Ellison and Nick Ortiz trying to hang with him right there, and Villalobos, he's starting to lose grip in his tires as well. And I see the gap between Vargas and those lap guys ahead, it's stabilized for the most part, so I think Vargas is he's finally being told to back off the pace and just at least get to the halfway point, and then worry about pit stops and worry about crossing that bridge when they come to it.
Yeah, sounds like a plan to the Revolution Racing team, and they seldom make mistakes. But for McDonald and Mashburn, the battle for third place is heating up now between the 12 and the 72. We'll see what Mashburn can do with McDonald here as they battle for the final spot on the podium. We're closing in on halfway rapidly. Vargas, I think, just took lap 50 right there. Yes, he did. So we're halfway through this race. We haven't had a yellow flag so far. We have 1 retirement in Brian Grigsby, but Christian Vargas has led every lap from the outside pole, and it is going to take a lot to stop him at this point, as he's going to take the halfway lap in the lead.
50 laps led on the day. If he leads 51, he'll definitely lock up that critical bonus point for leading the most laps. And it's never too early to think about that when it comes to the championship. I mean, these championships and these playoffs can be decided by just single point digits. So of course Vargas definitely has that fresh in mind. He will be the leader of the most laps. But as far as whether he wants to attack the 25 of Chastain, that's pretty much his discretion, as well as Duke Ansat, William Brock, and Daniel Bouchard. And here's the 00 of Julio Cesar outside the top 20, riding behind Emma Kruger, just desperate to get 4 new tires on that thing.
The good news is he's found a place to settle in for the moment, and that's good to just ride out the remainder of this stint and see where he can go from there. But I think Vargas is wanting to put a couple more lap cars between himself and the 66, and I think he realizes that this blue 66 car, blue and white 66, is the fastest car other than himself. So he really wants to put a buffer between himself and Villalobos. I'm curious though to see who's the first one on the pit road of the field. Because even if they're mired deep in the pack, if you're the first one on the pit road here, you're going to get a massive benefit. And I think I saw someone take the plunge. We're taking a look here. Yes, we do, and it's Logan Williams. Yep. He's the first taker from about 28th.
And now that number 8 team is going to go to work on that car, and I think this may draw more drivers in. Yep, Ryan Caggiano I saw.
Ryan Griffin, Aaron Hall, they're all coming down pit road. So this is going to kick off the green flag pit stop cycle. This is going to be the really nervous portion of the race for me, because I know from experience covering these races, the difference in speed between fresh tires and 50-lap-old tires, we could very easily get a caution just from people running each other over. The tire disparity is massive here. As James Ellison's going to come in, Francois Chastain is going to come in, but the leaders critically have not yet made that pit stop.
And also for second place, don't count out the 12 of McDonald or Miles Mashburn in the 72. They have caught up to Paul Villalobos.
Look at the gap. Look at the margins Logan Williams is putting in. He's on fresh tires, and look at how rapidly he's catching this group back here. Oh, and he makes contact with Lane Sanders. That is the closing rate I was worried about. You see that so often. And Villalobos is the first of the leaders to hit pit road.
Yeah, definitely. That was quite the scare for Logan Williams and Lane Sanders. He's going to take the top side going into turn number 1.
Tescar into the wall as well, as Caggiano got past him.
Oh, Cale Tescar, yep. Can't afford to do that, especially after you get 4 fresh tires. We'll have to see when the leader's going to come in. There's the 36 right there. Vargas still staying out here. Mashburn is inherited second.
And look at the closing rate. These guys. This is what I've been so worried about. This won't fully resolve until all 41 cars in this race have made their pit stops, because you can see it right here. Vargas has stayed out for a while, and there's Logan Williams. He gets caught by Daniel Bouchard out of 4. That was very nervy stuff for the race leader, who saw that right out his right side window. But Williams is through. No caution for that. But this is what I keep warning people about. Hillside is McMillan and Brock brushed doors there. But this is what I keep warning people about, is the risk of people running each other over because of the tire disparity.
I think I saw another driver with damage as well in turn number 1, but Ben McDonald is also in. Devin Fair, I believe, was also in too.
Roberto Crown Jr. just left. Ooh, we got more contact. It's Keon Daly with Henry Thomas. He somehow saves it, and we don't have a caution for that either. We've had some really close shaves out there, because look at Henry Thomas. He's getting swamped by the 25 and others. McDonald, you see in the foreground, just exiting pit road. Look at, see, this is the Hillside shuffle, as we like to call it. Guys on fresh, Finn Guy's had enough. He's coming in. That's going to be a real close shave if he can make it. Oh, and he does, just barely. That's another thing to keep our eye on. If someone commits to a pit stop too late, they hit those pit barrels on the end of the pit lane, and we've seen plenty of accidents over the years here because of that.
Now Joshua Michaels, contact
between teammates nonetheless. Villalobos is the one that hit him, as he now fights Joseph Shrigley, who just exited the pit lane.
Oh, wow, yeah, and there goes Michaels. He's going to pit. Fitzwater's going to pit. Here's Henry Thomas also pitting.
Go for it. That's going to be a close shave for him, but he just makes it by the thinnest of margins. But as Austin Liang, Echo Evans Ross, they come down pit road. But critically, Christian Vargas and Miles Mashburn have not made pit stops yet, and that is very concerning. At the rate he's getting overtaken, he might just be throwing this race away at the rate he's going if he doesn't get in soon.
Yeah, already 63 laps in. I don't know how wise this really is. The 54 team keeping him out this long.
He might not have a choice. He might not have a choice. He has an opportunity here, but he doesn't take. Oh, crowded into the wall there. He had to go wide to avoid Vargas, and now Tescar unlaps himself. Justin Henley unlaps himself. Here comes Finguy to do the same. Vargas is staying out. He stayed out at least 10 laps longer than the first guy who came down, Logan Williams. He stayed out 10 laps longer than that. As McMillan unlaps himself, Villalobos, those are going to be the front runners when we end this cycle, because Vargas, at the rate he's going, he's not going to be the leader even when he does pit.
Oh, and I did notice Miles Mashburn as well as Zayden Davidson, they did just hit pit road now. So it looks like the 00 Julio Caesar and a Kruger in the 70, they didn't pit as well, I don't think.
Those are the last 3, Vargas, Caesar, and Kruger. Which for Caesar, that's a big shock, because he looked like he was suffering out there on those tires. But Vargas, he's still toughing it out. I don't know what the strategy is here. I said earlier in this race that Revolution Racing rarely makes mistakes. This could be a big one that costs them a win here today.
Unless he was just maybe staying out to maybe catch a caution, which almost happened a few times. We saw people getting into each other, but
that's got to be the only way for them.
Yeah, the yellow flag has been in the flag stand this entire time. He has not drawn out, and Vargas is just
hemorrhaging. He's hemorrhaging lap time.
Seconds.
Because look at this. He's running in the 25-second range, 25 and a half. Everybody else is running low 21s. He's losing 4 seconds a lap. And look, McMillan and Villalobos, who have already pitted, they're only 10 seconds behind him now. And they're going to catch him in the next 2 laps, I feel.
Again, lap 67 already. There's Julio Cesar. He is pitting now.
Finally comes down pit road. That's a relief, 'cause I'm sure those tires were on their last legs, but look at this. There's 3 more cars unlapping themselves, and this is, I don't know what the 54 team is trying here, but I genuinely don't think it's going to work, because look at this. The gap now, 5.5 seconds. It was 10 seconds the previous lap. Let's see what it is this time at the line.
They're on the same straightaway.
Yeah, it's less than a second now. They're going to catch him in this corner, and there they go. McMillan's through to the lead. Villalobos to second. Christian Vargas has not made a pit stop, and he's already lost the lead.
Yeah, now at this point, that Revolution Racing team has got to be saying, pit this time. I mean, it's the bad is starting to outweigh the good right here. Oh,
Mashburn and Thomas almost hooked into each other there. But now they're getting stacked up behind Vargas, who hasn't made his pit stop yet, and they're going to lose a bunch of time now. They already lost a bunch of time on account of them pitting so much later, but Vargas is now pushing 70 laps on those tires. I've never seen this before.
Yeah, this is baffling me. Like, I'm just as baffled as all these other fans are right here. Mashburn and Henry Thomas, they better find a way around that 54 car, because they're losing positions too to these guys.
They're already a lap down, and it's only getting worse for them as Bobo Jones, Devin Fair, they all unlap themselves. Spare a thought, will you, while we're watching Vargas tumble down the order here, as to all these drivers that have popped up into the top 10. Ryan Griffin was deep in the field. He's running 3rd. Ryan Caggiano 4th. Logan Williams, who kicked off this cycle to begin with, he's now 5th. Bobo Jones in 6th. And Ryan Reed in 9th place. Vargas has now fallen out of the top 10 altogether. So I've never seen something this bizarre in a Superstar Series race, because Christian Vargas is a 2-time champion of this series. His team ought to know by now, you do not push a set of tires at Hillside beyond 55 laps, and he's now about to hit 75 on those tires.
How mind-blowing is this? But now it's a race between McMillan and Villalobos. He's got Roberto Crown Jr. in the 26 right ahead of him, so McMillan is in command, trying to go for win number 2 in the season. Villalobos trying to get his first ever win in start number 2. Like, that's amazing. We'll have to see if Ryan Griffin will be able to run these guys down, but it looks like Cameron Brennan and Sam Donotto, they've gotten by that 02.
Oh, here we go. We might see the 66 try to use the 26 as a pit, but look, they're about to put Vargas a lap down. That's how far off the 54 has fallen. Vargas is about to fall off the lead lap, and now he holds up the 66. That's going to allow McMillan to retake the lead. So, my goodness, Christian Vargas in the span of about 7 laps has fallen from the lead of this race to off the lead lap altogether.
I see Cameron Brennan, he's got damage somehow, and his car was recently clean. Wonder how he must have gotten that. But, yep, there's that 42 caught that big break with them approaching Vargas like that. And, man, this is so topsy-turvy. We thought the 54 car was going to be unbeatable, but it looks like that 54 Revolution Racing team seems to have beaten themselves, it looks like.
So rare do you see that these days in the Superstar Series, but it's happened here today. Christian Vargas likely will not go back-to-back to get his 18th career win today. But look at this. McMillan fighting his way underneath Crown to try and put the 26 a lap down. And keep in mind, McMillan started this race down in 21st position. He was one of the first ones to pit, though, and that made all the difference, as we're rapidly closing in on 20 laps to go.
Yeah, again, Vargas already in the lap down category. Ryan Griffin, he's still 3 seconds back, so we'll have to make sure how fast that tire difference is going to pay off for them. And I see Logan Williams, who hit first. He's up in the top 5, so that's cool for him. Bobo Jones.
Williams needed that strong run. He was mired deep in the points hole, and a run like this could vault him back into the top 30 in owners' points at the rate he's going.
And now McMillan trying to get by Roberto Crown Jr. desperately has to. You see Christian Vargas, he's all the way down to 35th, and he still hasn't pitted yet from, I don't believe I've seen that 54 pit.
Yeah, well, I haven't. There he is up on the top of the racetrack. He can't even get to pit road if he wants to, because all these guys are swarming him left, right, and center so rapidly. But yeah, Vargas is just rapidly falling down the order. He's about to go 2 laps down at this point. I do not know what has gone through the minds of Revolution Racing today, but they have given themselves up a shot at this race victory. today, that is for sure. As Villalobos now dives down the inside of the 42, trying to get the lead, as Vargas finally on lap 81 gives up the goods and comes to pit road.
And now, unless Revolution Racing somehow has a method to this madness, I don't see any likelihood of it working, considering we're already past the 4/5 mark of this race. They better have a set of magical tires to put on that 54 Toyota.
Even if they do, there's only 66. Even if they have those tires, there's only 18 laps to go, and I think it's going to come down to the 42 and the 66 unless something wild happens in the end, which we never say never. But Villalobos, he's my driver of the day today, just on account of him racing these veterans so well in just his second start in the series, and he's in contention to win it now.
A lot of wild things happening here in this race at Hillside. I also see that white and green car of Ryan Griffin trying to catch down, but he ended up losing time that lap as Vargas is off pit road, so he is going to avoid getting lapped by McMillan. We'll have to see how much time he's able to make up in just 16 laps of action here to go.
He's already 3 laps down in 41st on a lap all by himself. That strategy, whatever it was, has not worked for Christian Vargas because we only have 15 laps to go. We only have a couple of laps left before we stop giving out free passes. It would not that he'd be in position to get one anyway. He's 3 laps down, but this is a miserable afternoon. Started off so well for that 54 team, but right now it's a battle between the 42 Honda of James McMillan and the 66 Chevrolet of Paul Villalobos for the win at Hillside.
And I see Devin Fair. He's worked his way back up into the top 5. I also see Zachary DeLello with a good, respectable run in that 08. You know, he needed that one. Again, the 58 of Ryan Reed, who we saw running deep in the field, he also needed a run like this. He's up in 9th, just ahead of Ben McDonald in the 12 machine. You see all this lap traffic between 2nd and 3rd place. That's just going to help his case even more, or for Villalobos, I should say. There's about 5-6 lap cars in between him and Ryan Griffin, so even if, you know, Griffin were to get by him, he's still got a lot of work to do to try and catch 2nd place.
But McMillan, what a return to form after a year in the Nitro National Series. Very different cars than these cars right here. But he had such a good season last year in those cars. He almost won the championship, were it not for, I believe, an engine failure in the third to last race. But McMillan, he won the Daytona 500. He's on track to win his 2nd race of the season already. Impressive stuff, but he's still got this young sensation of Villalobos hounding him to try and get that lead away. And it's just, you just never know, do you?
Not at all, and Villalobos has the chance to pull off the upset. We're at lap 90 now. Again, time is ticking away rapidly. I mean, these laps go by in sub 21, 22 seconds on a good run. So, you know, we only really got like less than 4 minutes of racing here left. So if you think about it time-wise, but again, McMillan, I mean, with him having the veteran status he is, it's hard for him to
crash front straightaway. Ryan Reed. No. Ryan Reed into the wall out of turn 4, and he was running in the top 10 too. That is going to be our first caution of the day on lap 91. And look at the front end of that 58 car. It is destroyed, and that is a heartbreak for Ryan Reed, the one Jeff Bolton racing car to make this race. He was on pace for at least a top 15. It's all over now.
Oh, no, what an unfortunate turn of events for the 58. But not just Ryan Reed. You got McMillan and Villalobos. Their giant lead has now been evaporated.
But the thing about it is, we're within 10 laps to go. We're going to have a single-file restart now. And that's going to keep all those lap cars between themselves and Ryan Griffin. So I think they might still be okay. As Logan Williams, Stephen Gale, they're going to take a gamble to get another set of fresh tires to try and see if they can pick off a bunch of cars at the end. Ellison and Chastain doing the same. I like it from those guys. I mean, you're not going to win the race from back there doing that. So might as well try something, even if there's less than 10 to go. So Reed was running high alongside Bobo Jones. Oh, he was trying to come to pit road, but once again, I said it earlier, cut it way too late, and that's just a vicious shot for the John Deere Mustang. And we've seen that time after time, year after year, here at Hillside. It's one of the dangers of racing here, and for Ryan Reed, he is the victim of it here today. we're only going to have about 5 or 6 laps to go when we get this race restarted. And with it being a single file restart, like I've been saying, that really still only leaves us the 42 and the 66, unless we get a chaotic restart on differing tire levels, like we saw at the midway point of this race. But my goodness, you said this race could get turned on its head pretty quickly. It sure has now.
Oh, absolutely. And yeah, the 0-2 of Griffin, he's definitely gonna be the first one to encounter lap traffic ahead of him. But I like the gutsiness that these guys back here have decided to go with. Just come down pit road anyway, throw the kitchen sink at it and just see how many you can make up. Looks like we're only going to maybe have 22 cars on the lead lap, so hey, it's worth trying.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes for them. I'm looking to see if we get the lights out on the safety car this time around, because that'll determine a lot, and it'll determine how many cars these guys will be able to pick off. The lights do go out on the safety car. We'll have a restart with 6 laps to go. It's going to be fun to watch, because if this was a double file restart, McMillan and Villalobos would have been in a lot more trouble. But they have a myriad of lap cars now between themselves and Ryan Griffin. I can't even count all of them. But we're going to get a restart in half a lap's time. This is going to decide the race, definitely.
Yeah, I believe I counted 6 lap cars in between the 66 and the 0-2. But you also got Ryan Caggiano, Devin Fair looking to be into play. DeLello, Sanders, Teskar, McDonald, and Patrick Smith, the remainder of the top 10. But McMillan leads them all. Coming to a restart with 6 laps to go. How intense is it going to be?
And how about Caggiano? One quick note before we go back racing. He started this race in 34th. He's running in the top 5. Awesome run from that 5 car. We've seen that countless times this year, but the green flag's back out. We're racing with 6 laps to go at Hillside. McMillan gets a good launch off the line, but Villalobos, he's not going to waste any time. He cuts low down on the 42 to try and get the lead away. He's going to get it out of 2.
Incredible restart by the 66. Villalobos putting the 42 up high, and he's going to get some help by Joshua Michaels and Cameron Brennan.
Yeah, that's his teammate. Remember, Joshua Michaels, they had a little swipe at each other earlier in the race. But Joshua Michaels, what a team player he is. I know he just passed the 66 there, but just to get him ahead of the 42, that could have been enough to get the rookie up his big chance. We're coming to 4 laps to go. Villalobos really needs to get down behind this 4 car if he's going to stay in this lead.
He could be in trouble if he hangs on that outside line too long. McMillan, he's able to go to the inside. He's not out of this yet.
And Fitzwater and Mashburn are a lap down or more. They're not going to be a factor. But Villalobos, that Miles Mashburn's got to be seeing this ahead of him, and he's got to be knowing that he made the right decision putting this guy in his race cars. Because Paul Villalobos, he almost won a truck championship last year. That didn't come to fruition. He's running for the Nitro title now. And we got a couple on pit road again. It's Chastain and Ellison. I think they got penalized there for a restart jump.
Oh, how unfortunate for them. We thought they may have been doing something good right there, but now the 42's losing even more time.
Oh, and Michaels comes in as well.
Oh, no.
With 2 laps to go. That could be disastrous for his race as Mashburn looks to get around his teammate to unlap himself, as Villalobos is going to come to the white flag this time.
There's Lane Sanders and Cale Teskar Jr., Patrick Smith. They've risen up into the top 5, but here comes the rookie making just career start number 2 to the white flag, and I can only just imagine the feelings that is going inside his head right now.
And Paul Villalobos, magic can happen in the 1UP Superstar Series. We've seen it before. We're about to see it again today. Paul Villalobos, he hasn't even won his first Nitro National race yet. But coming through 3 and 4 for the final time, he's going to do him one better today, because for the first time in his Superstar Series career, the Venezuelan Villalobos will get the job done. First career win in his 2nd try at the big game.
How awesome is that to see Paul Villalobos pull off a shocker here this afternoon at Hillside, beating the Daytona 500 champion in order to do it. And man, I'm sure he even wonders where Victory Lane is here at this place.
He hasn't been to Victory Lane since Atlanta in the Truck Series last year. So, impressive stuff. And give a shout to Logan Williams as well, because he was the first one to take that gamble, to make that early pit stop. He's rewarded with a top 5 finish, by far his best of the season, and he will leapfrog up the points order as a result. Patrick Smith 5th, Lane Sanders on the podium, Teskar 6th, Stephen Gale 7th, Finguy, Nomina, and Devin Fair does keep up his record of top 10s in every race, just barely, with 10th place today. But my goodness, Paul Villalobos, that's got to be a massive deal for him, because with all that's been going on with Paul Villalobos, adjusting to a new car in the Nitro National Series, put it this way, he's only run 2 out of 5 races this season. He's 25th in the points now on account of his win today and an 11th in his other appearance.
Man, just to think if the 66 elected to stick with him full time, he could already be an upset driver for this championship. But yeah, nonetheless, I mean, regardless of how you put it, I mean, for a rookie to get a win that quickly in his career, it's just something you just can't replicate, at least not in a while. But Jake McMillan, finishing second, his best finish since his Daytona 500 win. Logan Williams having a great day in 4th. Lane Sanders and Patrick Smith rounding out the top 5. But yes, this race was full of just about every headline imaginable, from the tire strategies to, the dominant car of the day, Christian Vargas, their strategy backfiring on him, and he finishes multiple laps down, to a rookie pulling it off over the Daytona 500 champ. This will definitely have some storylines attached to it for sure.
Absolutely. But with that being said, from Jesse Turner and from myself as well, thanks for joining us for an epic day at Hillside Speedway. We'll see you again in 2 weeks at Bristol, the last great Coliseum, for a big day of racing there. All 3 series will be racing there in a couple of weeks. We're looking forward to that as much as you are. But until we see you then, congratulations to Paul Villalobos in just his 2nd start in the big dance. He is your winner today, and this is going to be a huge deal for that entire Robbers Racing team.